Hello, my name is Colleen, but to my students, I am Teacher Colina. I've been teaching ESL for 9 years in a classroom and online in many different countries. I am from the US, but now I'm permanently located in Italy. Today, we're going to plan time to make time. Yes, time management. It isn't always an exciting topic, but it definitely is a necessary one for online teaching success. So here are some tips for success with your BlingABC classes, all of which can assist you with having efficient time management. These aren't your usual tips. Number 1, invest in proper equipment. Never for 1 second have I regretted investing in proper equipment for work. Backgrounds, lighting, external webcam, professional microphone, you get the idea. I know it is difficult to travel with all of these things, but there are workarounds too. Number 2, be adaptable and flexible. Teaching in an ESL classroom can be unpredictable. That's why you'll want to learn multiple ESL teaching methods. It's essential to bear in mind that lesson activities can and will fall flat on many occasions. So have some different ideas in your pocket. Be flexible and adaptable. Preparation is key. Number 3, connection. Create a safe learning environment. Remember that students, especially kids, do not learn from people they aren't comfortable with. Introduce yourself, ask questions, or do an icebreaker. Building a rapport will go a long way in creating strong relationships with your students and will help them learn better. 4, time management. Don't drag things out. It's tempting when you want to accomplish an activity and there is one or more students that don't get it. Perhaps you drag out an activity in order to fill the time and find yourself rushing through the rest of the activities. This can be a massive mood killer in the classroom as students run out of steam. It's awful. Avoid that by giving them a new task. Number 5, TTT. Keeping it down instead of saying, I think what we'll do now is some practice of the keywords we just learned. To do that, I'm going to ask you 2 questions and I'd like you to answer them. Is that all right? No. Instead, say, let's practice. I'll ask you 2 questions. Number 6, insist on students saying full sentences. Sure, it's not natural to speak only in complete sentences, but for boosting STT, full sentences are key. They also force your students to think about their grammar and syntax. Try associating a gesture with a reminder to speak in full sentences. Number 7, take yourself out of activities. Your role in a group lesson should basically be to facilitate. You'll be the center of the lesson when introducing vocab and concepts, but after that, the spotlight should be on your students. Let them talk to each other and keep yourself free to write down corrections and things they did well. And finally, number 8, check for understanding. Your students are not going to ask for clarification. That's why you should remember to pause after you say something or give instructions. Check for understanding. Ask a few more questions before you move on to make sure they took it in. These are my 8 tips for continued success at BlingABC. Here are my big challenges and tips to fix. Number 1, balancing the different learning needs of the students. Every student who is in my classroom is different. Some struggle with shyness. Some can't focus. Others just can't say the words correctly, and the list goes on. Some learn really well when they read the text, and others when they listen, or when they can draw it on their own. There is a built-in way to handle this challenge that all teachers can use. It's called differentiation, meaning to put as many ways of learning into a lesson as you can. So I could have the kids take notes, read a few sentences, act out, use multiple choice, draw, spell, practice it in pairs or groups. I try to put in 4 or 5 different learning styles into one lesson so that the student who learns best by reading isn't left out. Neither is the student who learns best by moving around. Get to know your students so you know what the best method is. Number 2, that technology isn't working. There are some lines of defense though, depending on the issue and its severity. First, the wrench or the spanner button in the Bling classroom. It's the repair button. Use it first. Second, log out of the classroom and log in again. Third, use the help icon in the Bling classroom and contact your DingTalk admin. There are a lot of different scenarios, but the key to malfunctioning tech is don't panic. These were my 2 big challenges. What are yours? I've been asked a few questions, so let's go ahead and get started and answer some of the most common questions online teachers have at BlingABC. How can I finish so many slides within 40 minutes? As a BlingABC teacher, we need to complete all of the requested slides in 40 minutes and be able to do some enhanced activities too. This can be difficult for a lot of teachers. It takes planning, practice, but still, there are issues that can pop up unannounced. We can only do the best we can, and practice timing too. Look at the teacher's guide for the lesson you will be doing and note the times. You can write slide by slide the start and stop time on a paper or think of it in sections. Depending on the program, you can write the sections with their times. For example, a regular 1-on-3 class might have a greeting, a warm-up, a listen-up, try it, and your turn sections. I know that I should be at the try it section by about 18 to 20 minutes, then be at your turn section by the 30-minute mark. This leaves me with 10 minutes for your turn, speaking, and review. These are very general times though, so practice before your class. Do you spend 5 or 10 minutes greeting your students? Absolutely not. No way. We should be greeting and making a little small talk with the students. However, we've got to accomplish a lot. So spend 1 or 2 minutes total. You do not need to greet everyone individually in a large group class. When it's nearly 30 minutes and you just finished the listen up part, first, don't feel discouraged. This has happened to me. I was having a great time with students, expanding and speaking, and I spent too much time error correcting each student for the listen up, and the time got away from me, and it was stressful. I would still need to do all the slides. By that point, hopefully the students knew the target vocabulary for that lesson. Then we've got to do the try it section, all of it. For each question, open it to the whole group to answer. Still use different techniques for eliciting though. Answer sheet, flashcards, writing, etc. Whatever you know the group can do. The confirmation slide. This is the slide where they have to say the question and the answer again. Have them do it by group, not individual. This will cut down some time. So do this for all the slides. It shouldn't take too long to do this section. Then you've got to do the your turn pair and group work too. There will still be multiple techniques in your lesson. It'll be a good lesson, and remember that a minute or 2 over isn't going to hurt. Do you cycle through all the groups on one slide? No. There just isn't enough time in a lesson. Remember that you are teaching a slide to the whole class, but you are interacting with one group on the podium. When you change the content slide, you change the group, so you are interacting with the next group. It makes it easier and it evens things out. Always remember that everyone in your classroom can hear you. Do you arrange the groups beforehand? Nope. The Bling classroom organizes the groups based on when a student logs in. Do you spend too much time on lower level students? I've been known to do this. I really want them to learn. However, balancing different learning needs of students can be tricky. Remember that every student in the classroom is different. They learn differently. I've talked about how to handle this, and it's called differentiation, meaning to put as many ways of learning into a lesson as you can. So I could have the kids do notes, read a few sentences, use their body, act out, using multiple choice, drawing and spelling, practice in pairs, speaking and in groups. You could also use other students in the classroom to demonstrate, then have the lower level student do it next. Remember, you want to bring the lower level student up, not the other way around. What if I finished earlier, especially in my show me lessons? Well, the show me lessons are different. They are the quiz. So you're just reviewing what you did in the previous lessons. So you will not finish early if you noted your timing for each section. If you see you are fast in one section, you can expand and do an activity at that time. However, if you find yourself finishing early for Show Me, why not take this time to do an activity at the end of the lesson for the errors that the students made during the Show Me lesson? Do you check your teaching progress when it's 20 minutes? Well, if a lesson is new to me, I'm always checking my timing. I usually have paper notes with my time for a slide or the section for a new lesson. Always. Well, these were the most common questions you have. What are other questions you have?